never give in. Never, 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 never. In nothing great or small, large or petty, never give in except for the convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force, never yield to the apparent, overwhelming, mighty power of the enemy. My hope is that all cancer victims never give in. Think positive thoughts, continue to fight, continue to be mentally strong, and continue to have faith. Pleasure to be here. Hope you can hear me okay. Looking forward to this, and I'm honored that Phil picked me as one of the speakers tonight. I'll quickly go through my cancer and some of the lessons I learned. It was December 20th of last year. I was diagnosed with colon cancer after a colonoscopy. It was a big surprise to me because I was healthy and I didn't have any signs of being sick at all. So I was driving to St. George to give some presents to my daughter who lives down there for Christmas. And I got the call. And at the beginning of the call, I was freaking out. For the first half of that drive, I was thinking all kinds of dreadful thoughts and nothing positive. And then about halfway through the drive, something flipped. And I suddenly wanted to fight this and had the desire to do everything I could to get through this, not knowing exactly what the cancer was and if it spread. And I was thinking, what caused that change in me? And I think it was because of prayers. I had told my family and loved ones about my situation after I got the diagnosis, and then I was driving to St. George, and I know that they said prayers for me immediately, and I felt those prayers, and that's what allowed me to flip a 180 and go from the thoughts of death to the thoughts of hope. Another interesting thing that happened early on from my diagnosis is the morning after I was diagnosed, I woke up and I had this desire to promise that I would help cancer victims for the rest of my life. And I hope I can do that. I did want to talk about some of the things that happened in this past year that were a benefit to me. Even though my body's still recovering and I'm dealing with some challenges because of the surgeries, I learned a lot, and I want to talk about 4 things that occurred that were very helpful to me. The first one was it increased my faith. Having faith helped me through all the uncertainty that occurred from when you get diagnosed to when you find out if the cancer spread and you have to wait for the surgery, and that took about 2 months. And having that faith will help out those uncertain and difficult times. Plus, it reduced my stress. It also increased my faith in God and my ability to fight through hard times. The second thing that I benefited from was it forced me to fight. I had to decide that I would be brave in battle regardless of what happened, and I would have to figure out how I was going to recover. And having that mentality did help me get through the hurdles. I had to visualize what I was going to fight through in those challenges. I like the saying, when fear knocks, let faith come in. The third thing I learned was to be mentally strong. You know, getting through cancer and through health problems, you're going to have your family rally around you, and you get all kinds of help from them. But you have a lot of alone time, whether that's at home or in the hospital or awake at 2 a.m. with your thoughts going crazy over what might happen. But, you know, if you leave your mind empty, it's going to turn to negative thoughts. So you have to think positive thoughts to prevent this. And no matter what people said or what the test revealed, I was determined to stay mentally strong and fight the doubt and the negative thoughts. The fourth thing that I learned through this past year was that a positive mental attitude is just vital to get through something like this. Having that positive attitude will make all the difference in the world. One of the quotes I like is from Henry Ford, where he said, "If you think you can do it, you're right. But if you think you can't do it, you're also right." Your mind is very powerful, and you're going to move toward what you think about. You have to ask yourself, are my thoughts empowering me, or are they limiting me? This requires you to believe that you're going to recover. I found this Johns Hopkins University study on positive thinking where researchers found that people who have more positivity may be protected against the inflammational damage of stress. The study also found that negative emotions can of course affect our immune system. What is clear is that there's a definite link between positivity and good health. So to recap, I benefited from 4 things. It increased my faith, forced me to fight, made me mentally stronger, and it gave me that idea that a positive mental attitude is necessary to get through something like this. I want to share with you a thought that emphasizes how hard times can make you stronger. The tree that never had to fight for sun, for sky, for air, and for light, but stood out in the open plain and always got its share of rain, never became a forest king, but lived and died a scrubby thing. A man who never had to toil to gain and farm his patch of soil, who never had to win his share of sun and sky and light and air, never became a manly man, but lived and died as he began. Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger the wind, the stronger the trees. The more the storm, the more the strength, by sun and cold, by rain and snow, in trees and men, good timber grow. That was a poem by Douglas Malloch, and I think that sums up what happens to every cancer survivor. I know I'm very fortunate to be here. There are a lot of cancer victims, that didn't have this opportunity and the same fortune. And for that, I'm extremely grateful. I'm thankful that my cancer was found early and that I've been able to recover. At times, there was a lot of uncertainty. And at the beginning of all this, it was a battle of trying to get through that uncertain time. But it all worked out, and for that, I'm very grateful. I recently heard that life is constantly trying to teach us something. And lessons of discomfort tend to teach us the most. I feel like I earned a master's degree this past year with some of the things I learned. Here's my final thought. In 1941, Winston Churchill addressed the students of the Harrow School, where he attended when he was younger. After helping the British people survive the relentless German bombings of World War II, where it looked as if his country was doomed, this was his lesson to these students. Out of all the lessons he could have shared with them, after 10 months of being bombed, he chose this: never give in. Never give in. Never, 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 never. In nothing great or small, large or petty, never give in except for the convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force, never yield to the apparent, overwhelming, mighty power of the enemy. My hope is that all cancer victims never give in. Think positive thoughts, continue to fight, continue to be mentally strong, and continue to have faith. In closing, I just want to say how thankful I am for this opportunity to talk to you and share some of the lessons I learned. I hope that I can live up to that promise I made the day after I was diagnosed, where I can help cancer victims. I want to thank God, who's been there the entire time. I believe in prayer. I felt the countless prayers of people during both my surgeries and my recovery. I have to thank Katie Julian, who's my family doctor, for kicking my butt to get a colonoscopy finally. I waited, and she finally got me in there, and if I would have waited longer, the cancer probably would have spread potentially to my liver, and that scares me. I got to thank Dr. Peterson, who found the cancer during my colonoscopy, and thank you to Dr. Abby Kroom for her amazing skill of cutting me up and putting me back together, not once, but twice. I have to also thank St. Margaret's Hospital and all the nurses there, but I have one request. Please, please get a few longer beds. I was not comfortable in both my both my surgeries. I have to thank my nurse navigator, Melissa Talati. She was full of encouragement and insight, and still is very helpful. And I want to thank my friends who prayed for me, and for my family and my parents, for my kids. They were all amazing. For my daughter Amber, who was extremely knowledgeable and helpful during this. She's a nurse. But my biggest thanks has to go to my wife, Melissa. She put up with a lot, and she couldn't have been nicer to me. Very kind. Thanks for listening to my experience. I hope that maybe some of these lessons will be helpful to you one day. And also, thank you for being here in this important event to raise money for cancer. Sorry for my bawling. I never thought I would cry, but I appreciate it. Thank you.